Hello and welcome back to Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. Chris McGee, Robert Ory, James Worthy, Mike Bresnahan. Allie's going to join us in a little bit. The Lakers lose their third in a row. They fall to 2-8. And for the second time in 4 days, they have now lost to the Utah Jazz, the surprise Utah Jazz, who are now at 9-3. Lakers give up a season-high 139 points, and Utah hit 16 threes. Big game. I'll start with you.
Yeah, 16 threes to your 9 threes. That's going to be hard to overcome. That's a hard deficit to overcome. But, you know, both teams played last night. I think the Lakers got to Utah last night before the Jazz got back from their Clipper game. So it wasn't like there was you know, an advantage or disadvantage. Both teams equally. Only 15 assists for the Lakers compared to, I think, 30 for Utah. I mean, obviously they didn't have LeBron, but it just, there's no continuity. You know, Utah just roamed around. Not only did they hit the threes, Geeter, they got a lot of two-pointers. They're big, pretty much dominated inside. So AD had a nice start. I'm going to have to say I like the way he started the game aggressively, but we just don't have the energy or the effort or the cohesiveness to match other teams' cohesiveness and team play. Had good defense, you know, to start the first few games, but there's something they got to take a serious look at, you know, before the next game. They really got to look at how they've trended the last few games with teams scoring, you know, 75 points. They did it again tonight. Got to take a look at that.
Yeah, 76 in the first half. And you look at, listen, it wasn't just LeBron. They were also missing Pat Bev, Lonnie Walker, both crucial to what the Lakers want to do. Rob, it goes to that third quarter. You know, Lakers play a great first half offensively. 100% from the free throw line. They're shooting 58% from three. They're shooting 63% from the field, and they find themselves down by 5, and you come out in that third quarter, and that's when the Jazz, no let-ups. They scored 39 in that quarter, and they also scored, you know, 42 in the first, Rob. So there just was no stopping them through 3 quarters. They had 115 points.
You know, you look at a team, and that's what I say, a team. That's what Utah Jazz play as. They play as a team. They move the basketball. And you get to a point where, you know, there's certain guys that's just better than your guys. And if you look at this team, you never thought you would say, okay, the Utah Jazz are better than the LA Lakers. They got guys like Clarkson, who came out and played really well. THT played well. You even had old Rudy Gay go out and play well. And that's the thing about them. The way they move the basketball, the way they play as a team makes each and every player on that team better than the Laker players. You see the Lakers, they're not moving in basketball. There's no pop. There's no zip. It's like, okay, I got it. Do I shoot or do I pass? It's that thought process that slows them down. It's like if you got it, you go. That's what the Utah Jazz play with. They play with a lot of energy. They play with a lot of continuity, like James says. They pass the ball. It's the one thing that you really respect about Utah is they play hard. They play together. And if you look at the way that the Lakers played tonight, they played hard for that first half, but it seemed like one team was in better shape when it came down to the second half, and they just outplayed the Lakers in the second half.
Yeah, you know, a few weeks ago, Geeter and I and our guest Kevin Ding, longtime Laker writer, put the first 10 games up on the board over here, and we came up with, you know, Lakers could be somewhere around 6-4, maybe 7-3. Kevin Ding said 8-2 through the first 10 games. Here they are at 2-8. I mean, it's surprising. And 2 of those games were supposed to be easy W's against the Utah Jazz. This is a team, guys. I mean, they were supposed to be tanking for Wemby the first second of their season when that first jump ball went up. They're what, 9-3 now? I mean, this Utah team is actually a great early season story. As for the Laker defense, Keith, they were 5th rated coming into tonight. That's going to change. Anytime you give up 100 points midway through the third quarter, you're just not playing good defense. And you're right, Pat Bev would have helped, Lonnie Walker, LeBron, sure. But giving up almost 140 to the Utah Jazz, who, like you said, James, played last night here in L.A. That's a tough night for Darvin Ham, a defensive-minded coach. I don't know if there were any kills out there tonight, stops on 3 consecutive possessions for that Laker defense.
Yeah, I definitely want to credit the Utah Jazz. I mean, they came out and played great. Look at their balance. You guys were talking about them and the way the ball moves, and you really don't have those star names. I mean, Lowry Markkanen is coming into his own. Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, these are all phenomenal players. Mike Conley has always been a well-respected player in this league and a guy that most consider an all-star, except he's played in the Western Conference. But they have 7 guys in double figures, and 6 of those guys had at least 14. And by the way, players number 8 and 9 had 8 points each. So that ball is moving big game, James. They're having a lot of fun. They're a young team. There's no expectations, no pressure, and it shows.
Yeah, Utah had 30 assists to the Lakers' 15 assists. And then you see what they did from behind the 3. They also played with a lot more energy. They played hard. I'm not saying the Lakers don't play hard. I just think the energy sustained over 48 minutes, the Lakers aren't doing that. And there's those 4 or 5 minute gaps in the third quarter where they're losing it. I mean, yeah, this is a team. Reminds you of how college teams play. No big-time mega superstars, but a bunch of guys who are willing to sacrifice for one another. They move the ball. They play, the way that the game is supposed to be played. Defense over plays, they go back door. I love their motion on their offense. They never are randomly just into something. They're into something in sync. It's a curl, it's a pick, it's a shot. It's making the defense collapse. They do it the way it's supposed to be played. And if you do that, you're an efficient basketball team. I don't care if superstars on the floor or not.
All right, let's go back to Utah. Anthony Davis is speaking with Mike Trudell and the media.
Anthony, you guys had managed to hang in that first half just with a terrific offensive performance, but it seems like for 2 games now just have struggled to slow Utah. What does you see as the differences they kind of pulled away in the second half?
Third quarter, which is what's been killing us all year. This team has gotten whatever they wanted. Jordan Clarkson, in both games that they, where we played against them, and it's tough. It's tough to win basketball games when we don't defend. And even though we gave up 76, we still scored 71. We come out in the third quarter and give up a 39-point quarter. So, that's the difference, in the game. So we just got to be better defensively. We got to get back to defending how we were early in the season.
Clearly you were shorthanded, but what defensively did you see not working?
The start of the third, I let Markkanen get some easy ones. We wasn't helping. One time we were scrambling. We didn't stunt for the stunner. I think Mike got a 3. And then I go help. Owen helps again. Laurie gets a 3 in the corner. It's just like we stopped communicating in the third quarter. Stop helping one another. We can't afford that. We got to be able to sustain our defensive intensity for a full 48. We've been doing it for 24, 36, so we just got to be better on that end of the floor, especially coming out of halftime. So whatever we got to do, to get ready to, come out and play in the third quarter.
AD, sorry. Darvin indicated that you and he talked about you needing the ball more, especially in the second half. When did that conversation happen, and how did it influence your mentality coming into today's game?
Happened over the past couple of days, and just trying to be assertive. Coming out of the second half, demanding basketball and making plays out of it. Try not to get lost in the game. Where I'm not touching the basketball. So I made an effort tonight to try to go get the basketball starting second half.
Darvin's basically said to us that, put the work in, big picture, like this will come, the wins will come, just got to keep building. I think you used the word excavating. We're laying a foundation. But for a player like you who is not at the start of your career, how does that kind of gel with your expectations for where this team should be today? And I guess, how are you handling where this team is today?
Obviously, it sucks. We don't want to be 2-8 at all. We got guys out. Pat and Lonnie didn't play. Bron, DS has yet to play. Thomas, it sucks for sure. Yeah, you gotta look at big picture. I mean, it's been 10 games, but still, fairly early in the season. 2-8 is a hard pill for me to swallow. Obviously, that's, you can obviously change it around. I mean, I think we've seen teams. I think New Orleans was like 1-12 or something last year or something like that. Come back, go on a run. We just gotta put it together. The offense has found this rhythm, and it seemed like we've lost our defensive intensity, and that's what's killing us. But I mean, it sucks to be 2-8. We had enough to win this game. We got enough to win every game. We just got to come out and put it together for a full 48, and be locked in coming out of halftime. That's kind of been our thing. Played great first half basketball, and third quarter, game gets away because we don't defend. And it's hard to win basketball games like that. And that's been a lot of our losses, coming out of third quarter and not being ready to play.
AD, a couple of us were thinking back to that game you played in Utah, your first season with the Lakers, where you were making those big defensive plays out in the perimeter, and your team was kind of coalescing at that point when you played here. Through the process of the last couple seasons, have you spent much time contemplating on how things have changed from just the super high level things were at when you first came here to just the struggles? And
yeah, for sure. I mean,